Deloitte is now set to let workers choose where and when they work after lockdown. This is quite a fascinating proposal. Take us through it.
Yeah, it's interesting, Danica. Usually, we've been hearing about those trendy tech companies like Atlassian or Amazon or Google. They've basically allowed their workers to work from anywhere, anytime, basically determine their workplace behaviour. But now Deloitte has come out and basically said, and this is the Australian version of Deloitte, they've virtually said workers can choose the times that they work, where they work. They can swap public holidays for culturally significant days or religious days. It's basically redefining the relationship between a boss and workers like never before. And I think when you see conservative companies like Deloitte coming out with this kind of decision, it means that other companies will start looking at it as well. And it's going to be really bad news for CBD businesses. And I suspect the impact of this will be ultimately over time, we'll see a lot of office blocks converted to apartment blocks, and cities will become more residential than they currently are today.
Yeah, as you said, not good for the CBD businesses who are so desperate for people to return back to the bustling city streets, Peter. On another matter, why are stocks up despite the lockdowns that we are seeing now across the country?
Yeah, you kind of think with all the drama around lockdowns that the stock market would really be coming off the boil. There have been two small falls, but if you look at the actual ups and downs of the various companies, in the stock market index, you've seen companies that are stay-at-home type companies doing really well again. Kogan, Temple and Webster, any online business that really does well. We've seen, of course, the retailers like Woolworths and Coles, they're doing well because people are going in there loading up with toilet paper for who knows what reasons. And then on the other side, you've got all those stocks that were benefiting from the idea that the economy would be reopening. Companies like Qantas or Webjet or corporate travel, they're all suffered as a consequence of it. And so basically a stock market index is a whole collection of companies going up and down, and the downs aren't as bad as we were thought, probably saying that there's an expectation that the lockdowns won't go on for too long.
And Peter, won't lockdown overall, will that hit economic growth?
Yeah, you expect it to happen. And when you look at, there's a chart that AMP Capital has put out called the Economic Activity Tracker. And when Melbourne went for their sustained second lockdown, our Economic Activity Tracker was actually doing better than the US, better than Europe. And all of a sudden it started to level off for the months when Victoria was in trouble. And then it took off again. And ironically, and this is really interesting, the state that's had the most problems with lockdowns, namely Victoria, I mentioned this to you on Monday, is now expected to be the fastest grower next year. So lockdowns have a temporary impact on economic activity, but eventually there's like a rewinding and economies rebound out of it. So I think the fund managers out there who are the big buyers of stocks at this point in time aren't worried about the economic growth implications of the lockdown.
Well, that's positive news. Peter Switzer, thank you for joining me this morning.
Cheers.